Hi guys, my name is Ashley Giamona and I'm a program manager for Girl Scouts of Northern New Jersey. Today we're going to do a life skills lesson about how you can change the world. So too often young girls and maybe even yourself sometimes think, I'm just a kid, I can't change the world. Or if you ask them who their heroes are, they'll say doctors, nurses, teachers, and firefighters, and police officers, and all those people are heroes. But you, Girl Scout, can change the world too. And I'm going to tell you about a 6-year-old girl named Ruby Bridges, who was my personal hero, who changed America for all time. Now, I must say, I'm going to read from a Time for Kids article about Miss Ruby Bridges, and there are some big words and some big ideas. So if you have any questions or don't understand something that I may talk about or read here, I would suggest you talk about it with your parents at home or another adult in your household. So Ruby Bridges from Time for Kids, it says, in a 1997 interview with PBS NewsHour, Bridges recalls preparing to leave for her new school. She remembered looking out the window of a car driven by a U.S. Marshal. Driving up, I could see the crowd, she said. But living in New Orleans, I actually thought it was Mardi Gras. The angry crowd chanted, 2, 4, 6, 8, we don't want to integrate. They tried to block the entrance to the school. While Bridges and her mother sat in the principal's office, hundreds of parents entered the school and removed their children from their classrooms. They didn't see a child, Bridges later said in a PBS special, The African Americans. They saw change and what they thought was being taken from them. The next day, Bridges was led past the screaming crowd and into the school by 4 marshals. When she arrived at her classroom, she found a teacher, but no students. Her teacher, Barbara Henry, was a Boston, Massachusetts native who had moved to the South hoping to help schools integrate. She was the only teacher willing to teach Bridges. She would greatly take me to my classroom, and it was just her and I, said Bridges. Although Bridges and Henry remained in the classroom alone, neither missed a single day of school that year. So that's a little bit about Ruby Bridges. And now I'd like to read you a poem about Ruby, who stood up to those that didn't want her to come to their school. And this book is called Shaking Things Up, 14 Young Women Who Changed the World by Susan Hood. And this poem is called A New School. Ruby had a new school, William France. Mama wanted the very best, but who were these men with badges? Ruby wasn't sure. Screaming masses flanked the school, men and women holding signs. Perhaps a parade for Mardi Gras? Ruby wasn't sure. One marshal said, "Don't look back." Was that a gun at his side? Just what did segregation mean? Ruby wasn't sure. Why did the grown-ups point at her and pull their kids from school? Why were they all so upset? Ruby wasn't sure. Why did she and Mama sit all day in the office by themselves? Had she done something wrong? Ruby wasn't sure. Ruby was banned from the lunchroom, banned from recess every day. Why did her daddy call her brave? Ruby wasn't sure. She spent first grade with Mrs. Henry in a classroom just for one. Where were the other children? Ruby wasn't sure. But Ruby never missed a day with her teacher by her side. 2 heroines stood hand in hand, their bond a bridge for sure. So that is about Miss Ruby Bridges, who was 6 years old when she changed the world. And now I would like to tell you about a sister Girl Scout, Mae Jemison. And Mae Jemison was the first female African-American astronaut. And this is her poem. An African proverb says, no one shows the child the sky. No need. Head back, it's there in her eyes. Glittering stars, swirling galaxies, fill her, thrill her, even though her kindergarten teacher says, "You want to be a scientist? Don't you mean a nurse?" Even though she's a scaredy cat, afraid of the dark, she looks up. Afraid of heights, she looks down. She skins her shins and muddies her dress because she needs to know. A Wrinkle in Time and Star Trek's Uhura say women can be scientists, even rocket scientists. Ignition. All systems are go. 3, 2, 1, blast off! And here's our picture of Miss Mae Jamison. And I just wanted to explain, so it says, her kindergarten teacher says, "You want to be a scientist? Don't you mean a nurse?" So her teacher didn't believe that because she was a girl that she could be a scientist. And we know as Girl Scouts that you can be whatever you want, including a nurse. If that's what you want to be, that's amazing. And some other things that are pretty important from this poem, it says she was afraid of the dark. And she was afraid of heights. But she went to space. She went to space where it's dark and it's really high up in space. So I want you to think about the stories of Sister Girl Scout Mae Jamison and Ruby Bridges and let them inspire you, because they changed the world. And you can too. So tell us or draw a picture. How are you going to change the world? It can be as simple as maybe drawing a nice chalk drawing that gives encouragement to everyone. Or you can tell me that you want to be a teacher when you grow up and teach people how to read, just like your teacher taught you how to read. And that changes the world. When you have your idea, draw it for us and send it to the Girl Scouts of Northern New Jersey Instagram or the Girl Scouts of New Jersey Facebook page. Stay safe, and I can't wait to see how you're going to change the world. Goodbye.